like to welcome everybody to the regular monthly city council meeting. At this time, I'd like everybody to stand for the prayer by former council member Dudley Evans and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor, for the privilege. We will bow our heads for prayer. Thank you, Father God, for the day you've given us, for the weekend of Thanksgiving, and all the blessings you've received, that we've received from you, God, and our country is so blessed. And we just thank you again for the protection of our citizens here in town, and for our police officers, fire department, all city employees, and our council and the mayor and city staff. Pray for their blessings as we enter this holiday season. Thank you for the greatest gift ever given to mankind, for the Son Jesus Christ, to come to be the propitiation for our sins. We thank you so much for that. Bless this council as they intervene tonight, God, to conduct the business of the city. Bless our city. Put your hand upon it and bless it continuously. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant.
Here.
Councilman Davis.
Here.
Councilwoman Evans. Here. Councilman Fuller.
Here.
Councilman Reed.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Here.
Mayor Jolley.
Here. Let the record reflect that all members are present. Next is your minutes. I entertain a motion we approve the minutes unless there's any additions or subtractions.
So moved.
Make a motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson, second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilwoman Wilson,
Nothing.
Councilwoman Evans. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? There be none. Next is presentation and approval of your financials from October 31st, 2023. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Is there a second? Second. Second by Councilman Davis. Councilman Fuller.
Just turn it over to Ms. Ruby.
Well, first thing is to get your password right. I'll get it. All right, this is what we've done the last couple of months so we can include the public on what we do. First, we have our banking information. In the general fund at the end of October, we had $1,107,000, $353.77. In our reserve and emergency, this thing goes too fast, we had $247,804.16. Payroll fund, which is just a flow-through fund, we put it in and pay it out, we had $79,741.86. In our drug fund, this is the larger drug fund, we had, if I can make it work right, $43,098.76. State Street Aid, we had $316,624.06. Small Drug Fund, we had $6,107.54. Capital Projects, $898,799.20, for a total of $2,699,529.35. What I wanted to add this month is I want to show people how we have these amounts in our checking accounts at the bank. That doesn't mean that we have this much money that we can sign a check for today. We need to keep a certain amount of money in our accounts at all time. MTAS and the state recommends you keep 1.5 times of what your monthly 3 months expense is, and we try to do that. So I think it was misconstrued maybe at one of our last meetings that, well, if you've got that much money, why can't you do this? But we have to keep a certain amount of money in our accounts. So we also have we provide this to council every month. We provide all the bank statements from each bank and each account showing what's all there, so that council sees whatever I report each month matches the bank statement. So there's never a question about if the numbers match up. So I just like for the public to be able to see that. We also have, which is kind of hard for probably people in the public to understand, but we also have summary financial reports that I provide the council each month. And these summary financials show, just for instance, and it's hard for you to see that up there, but it shows every revenue that we have, how much was in the budget, how much we've received, and it tracks it every month. So by the end of the year, we know in each line if we've received what we expected to receive. If anybody ever has a question about any of that, I'll be glad for you to come by and see me and I'll answer that question. We also keep track of all the departments each month, what they spend compared to what is in their budget. So just for instance, say for city garage, we budget $85,000 to run the garage every year. As of right now, we've spent $23,847, so we know we're at 28%. So we're doing well. All the department heads are very good about doing their purchase orders, getting with Belinda on what they're able to spend. And some things are paid up front, which might make your budget look like you're overspent early in the year, but it all comes out at the end of the 12 months, and we watch that every month to make sure that nobody's budget goes over. So that's always provided to the council each month. In addition to that, we also provide to the council a check register that Belinda does, that she prints out every time we write a check. So every month, every check that's written is posted, telling what it was written for, the date it was written. If one's been lost in the mail, which we have trouble with that anymore, it seems like more often, and we have to void it or something, she always provides a copy of the voided check to prove to the council that that check was voided. So everything that she does, I sign, check signers sign in addition to us on all payroll that's done. We record all the revenues that come in from the state every month. They get copies of that. So we try to be very transparent, and I just want to keep continuing to do it this way so that the public knows that we are very transparent with what we do. And if there's ever a question, my door is always open, and you're always welcome to come ask me any question, and if I don't know the answer, I'll get you the answer. And that's my report. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. But if you'll grab that light for us, buddy.
Councilman Ford.
That's another great presentation. Good job.
Councilman Davis. Any further comments or questions? Call roll, please.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Yes. Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Joe?
Yes. Next is committee reports from council. We'll start down here with Councilman Bryant.
That's it.
I missed our Parks and Rec meeting because I had another meeting, but I do know that basketball signups are over with and that they've started practicing. And that's really all I got.
Councilman Ford.
Matt moved to sign.
Councilman Davis. Councilwoman Evans. Councilwoman. Next on the agenda is public comments. All I'd ask is that you stand, state your name and address, and keep your comments to 3 minutes. We'll start over here. In the middle, anyone? Okay.
John Dennis, Wheeling Street. Glad to be here. been away quite a bit. I've had a lot of runs, went out to Utah and different places, but I burned out some headlights. I'm looking at it, and it pulled over. I got it taken care of in time out there. I had another headlight that went out at about 700 miles. I drove about 700 miles, and it was over Thanksgiving, and all rallies was closed. It was just before Thanksgiving. I got up in Kentucky. I tried to stop road rallies at 10 minutes till 9 before they closed, and they couldn't change it that late. So I thought, well, I'll just keep my brights on till I get home, and then just dim it when I have to, you know, with the right headlight out. So I made it all the way back that way. I was worried about policemen, but more so about, you know, safety. But I'm worried about getting pulled over. And finally, after all this 700 miles and all these plus miles and like thousands, I pulled in, came into Rockwood. I go, oh, I made it back. I didn't even get pulled over. And lo and behold, there was a Rockwood police officer and Smoking Joe's or whatever it is in the town. Anyhow, he pulled out behind him. Again, I forgot to put my bright lights on. And he followed me right up till I turned and went up my street, got up there by the police station. And 2 blocks from my house, he put the lights on, and another officer followed up. And I did what I did when I get pulled over. An Army veteran told me, he said, whenever you get pulled over, turn your lights on inside, put your hands on the steering wheel. Then, because I always got out when I got pulled over. I got out and stretch and stuff like that, and I'm making an officer uncomfortable because I took advantage of a brake, you know, to get out of the vehicle whenever I got pulled over. But I put my hands on the wheel, and he came over very, very nice. He said, you have the headlight? I said, no. Well aware of that. I plan on getting it taken care of. The Riley's closed, and I've got to work till Monday. He didn't give me a ticket, but he was very nice. And I'm glad to see our officers alert like that and watching out. I'm not upset about it a bit. You know, driving thousands of miles before the Rockwood Police Force pulled me over. And I'm really excited. I read about Jared Hall's encounter with some criminal activity and how he put his life on the line handling an armed criminal, okay, and just disarmed him and battled with him for a period of time that would have more and wore me out, okay. So he had to be in good shape to do that, and I'm proud of our police force. I love them, and it's good to be in this town. Thank you.
Thank you.
My voice doesn't carry, so I might have to be a little bit closer. Y'all used to have a microphone like needed for me. But anyway, like John, I just wanted to say I really appreciate the good job.
Can't hear you.
Really, really appreciate the good job the police officers are doing, and your selection is very good. And we really are getting a lot of action now. I think we all see it on the streets. You know, drugs have been a real curse for this area, you know, for maybe 40, 50 years. And I know a lot of you know people, 4 generations of drug users. I mean, it's affected it so much that grandparents are raising children, sometimes great-grandchildren. And so getting all this action is just wonderful. And even on my blog, which I had complaints about, only new complaints at all this month. And about how good the Rockwood Police Department's doing. And I want to thank also the Rockwood Fire Department for getting involved on the mountain. We happen to have a condo up there that the fire got within 4 feet of our building on the side, and 10 feet in the front and 10 feet on the back. So we just dodged the bullet. And I understand the Rockwood Fire Department went up there, and I don't know all the things they did, but I wanted to thank, and what we're gonna do to bring that too. And it's been a good month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just thought I'd mention that, hope you're all aware, the tree lighting at the park will be December the 1st, that's this coming Friday. It's gonna be expanded somewhat this year, so there'll be food trucks there. And then December the 16th is the day for Wreaths Across America at Oak Grove Cemetery, so.
I have a question, is it parade the same day as the?
No, it never is.
Monday?
Anyone over here? Okay, at this time, that would be your last option to speak unless myself or a council member yields the floor. First on the agenda is old business, ordinance 1296, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Rockwood by designating zoning property on Coles Road as R1 low density residential, second reading. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilman Fuller?
It's something that we've dealt with in the past and cleaning up some paperwork.
Councilman Bryant.
Echo that.
Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Yeah, I didn't go public hearing on there, Jackson, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Should have done that. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
At this time, I'd like to open the floor for ordinance 1296 for a public hearing on zoning the property on Coles Road to R1. Would anyone over here like to speak on that? Anyone in the center? No one? I'd like to close the public hearing on ordinance 1296. Now I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1296. Motion by Councilman Fuller, second by Councilman Bryant. Okay. Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Jolly?
Yes. That's all of the old business. New business, ordinance 1297, ordinance amending the section 12-601 of the Rockwood Municipal Code, first reading. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Councilwoman Wilson,
Nothing.
Councilman Davis.
No.
Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Jolly?
Yes. Next is Resolution 2354, a resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation capital outlay note of the City of Rockwood, Tennessee, in a principal amount of note not to exceed $5 million. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Reed. Councilwoman Wilson, would you like to yield to
Yes.
Scott Gibson
Yes.
from Cumberland Security?
Yes, I would.
Thank you, everyone. Kim from the Water Sewer Department called me earlier in November, and Miss Becky also about some needs at the city, specifically mainly cash flow needs on the Water Sewer Department. They are undergoing, as y'all may be aware of, improvements to the, I think, water and wastewater?
There's the sewer system project and the water plant rehab.
There you go. So those are being paid for mainly by the state. It's grant money. However, the way the grants work is that you spend the money, you get an invoice from your contractor, you pay your contractor, you submit that check and invoice to the state, and then they reimburse you. Currently, the Water Sewer Department has an invoice in that they've been waiting on a reimbursement since May. It still hasn't got here yet. So cash flow is going to be an issue on these. Even the state speeds up the process, you're still probably looking at 60 or 90 days. So you're going to have 2 or 3 months worth of invoices out before you get a payment back. And so cash flow on that is going to be difficult since we got $7+ million worth of projects to do. So what we are proposing to do is this cap outlay note. The note would be issued not to exceed 4.75%. We actually went out and got 4 different quotes, so you can see those on the summary sheet here. Regions Bank was the best. The way the note would work is we would issue that note here before year end. We could issue it as bank qualified. We could also issue it as under the small issuer exemption under the tax code. That basically means the city would have 3 full years to spend the money. And so what we're going to do on the city and the water sewer piece, we'll take all the money out. The note is prepayable and whole or part at any time. And so on the water sewer piece, as those invoices start to get reimbursed from the state after they paid them, then they can take the money from the state and just send it to the bank to pay the note down. And so we'll do that over the next 2 to 3 years until they spend all that money. So hopefully by the time the actual first payment, which is in the book here, preliminary funding analysis, by the time the first payment hits in 2027, the note should be paid off. Hopefully the construction stays on schedule. The water sewer department will have 3.5 years to spend the money and probably have it all paid off before even the first payment hits. They will have to pay interest on the note as on any proceeds that are spent. The money will be going to the bank day one. Regions will be paying an interest rate that will cover the interest cost, so there's really no negative cost to carry. So if we're paying $475, we'll be earning $475. So that way you're only paying interest on money that's spent. And then on the city piece, kind of the same concept, but we may end up having that note outstanding for 3 or 4 years. The city has some parks and recs projects coming up. They also have a cash flow issue potentially. But on their reimbursement, they only get reimbursed up to 50%. And so you're going to have to come up with a match on the parks and recreation and maybe some of the airport work that may come along. And so we've set the note up for basically $500,000 worth of stuff to cover all those matches. And so we'll see how it all plays out. But the first payment on the city would be 2026 through 2029. We'd pay that note off. Now, 2026 is still 2.5 years away. A lot of things could happen. We currently have the 2018 bonds that are outstanding. We may end up refinancing those. Rates end up coming back down. Y'all may have some more projects come up in the next year's budget or even the following year's budget. So we'll just see how it all comes. The good part about the note is, like I said, it is prepayable at any time. So anytime we want to do something different or collapse the note, we can just take the money that's unspent, send it to the bank, pay the note down, and we're done. So I think this note provides the most flexibility. It accomplishes the goal of the water sewer department and the city all at the same time. We're also at the end of the current tax year, and so we get to use this year's bank qualification, which means starting January 1, the city is free and clear to do more debt next year if some project comes up. And so I think it's the best time to move forward and basically relieve the water sewer department's cash flow issues and provide the city some grant money if all the grants come through and all the projects get spent. And like I said, if we don't spend the money in some budget over the next 2.5 years, then we'll just pay the note off. And that doesn't mean I don't come back here a year from now or a year and a half and say, hey, rates have come down, let's pay the note off and do this because it can save you some money. So that always is an option, but I am providing you the most flexibility, I think. So that's an overview of what is happening tonight. And if you approve the resolution, we will continue to move forward. We will ask the state's permission to issue the note tomorrow, and we will be prepared to close sometime in mid-December. Any questions about the particular note we're talking about or any of the city's debt? I'll be happy to answer those.
So in other words, we're only paying interest on the money we spend at that time. It's like a construction loan.
It's like a construction loan. Yep, and especially on the water sewer department, the city piece is $510,000. The water sewer department is $4,490,000. The way I think it's going to work out in the end. And so really the bulk of the money is at the water sewer system. They'll pay most of the cost of issuing the note. The city will pay basically 10%. The water sewer department pay 90%. And like you were saying, they will only pay interest on the money that they end up spending. And so I feel very comfortable, and like I said, if rates change or something, we'll just take the money that's in the bank, write the check to the bank, tell them to pay it off if we need to. So I don't think that's really gonna happen, and the water sewer department has immediate need. Like I said, they've been waiting since May on the last invoice they submitted, and the state, I talked to the state, before Thanksgiving. They are behind on their reimbursements, they admit it, they know that they're slow, they're trying to speed the process up. They were not surprised that this situation has risen, and so, and I've actually had to do this for someone else just recently too, because of the slow reimbursement. So, I mean, I think it's a great solution to the, I wish we didn't have the problem, but in the scheme of things, this is a small hiccup considering that you're doing all that water sewer work and it's all being paid for by the state. So we're having to do this little note to help with the cash flows. You're not having to pay, you know, all that grant money, $7+ million grant money's coming in. So you're still in much better shape versus, you know, where you were.
4.75% is best rate I've seen in a while.
It is actually, I've done a couple of these notes here in the last couple of months. I did one that was north of 6% in the same situation, and I've done several that are the 5.5 to 5 3/4. So I was very pleased with the 4.75 rate that we got. That is a fixed rate, so it won't go up, and like I said, the note's prepayable at any time.
Any further questions?
Regardless, this will be paid off within 5 years. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you all can pay it
it's
sooner if
not
you want.
long-term debt. It's like we did, the same thing we did 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago when we had all those grants. We just drove down what we paid, and as soon as we got it, we paid it back.
Yes, the city's part is the match grant we approved several months ago. Rehab the community center. And then the other part that's gonna be used for the,
Airport terminal rehab. And if we don't need it for that, he also says it can be, say we have a bridge collapse or our street that needs something. I mean, it's for,
Capital.
yeah, like if we didn't use our STP grant to do some streets, if it had a match to it, which it usually has 5 to 10% match, then we could use it to match. But it's really just cash flow, that's all it is.
Yeah, 2029 would be the final payment, so basically,
If we don't pay it before.
yeah, if you don't pay it before, so 5.5 years. Five full budget years, so.
any further discussion with Scott?
I'd like to know something.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Evans.
How much money does our water, sewer, and gas department have that's fully that they can use right now?
I don't know the answer to that question, but
We have an audit that will be available tomorrow, that'll be presented by our auditor, and I'll be happy to supply that to the board, and that should answer any of those questions.
Did you hear that?
No, I did not.
Their audit will be ready tomorrow, be presented to their board, and as soon as they present it, she'll be glad to give all of us a copy of it.
Well, I would love to see it before we have to vote on another $5 million going.
But this is for a cash flow issue, the grant money that they're receiving so they can pay it in and out, correct?
correct. Yeah, when it's all said and done, this is really, I mean, we are issuing $5 million note, but when it's all said and done, the note should be paid off before the first required payment has to be made based on the grant money reimbursements coming in. So it's all about, it's not about financing the projects, it's all about the cash flow of the projects and getting the note. And like I said, I had to do 2 or 3 of these here recently for the same reason. The reimbursement rate from the state is just so slow. I've had other cities in the same problem having this cash flow, because Kim could be out, once she gets going, she could be out $2 to $3 million if the invoices hit, 2 or 3 months of invoices before she gets reimbursed. So that's a pretty large piece of cash to have sitting out there before you get reimbursed, and for her to cash flow on a month-to-month basis. And she does not have that much cash flow. I mean, that's the reason we're here.
She's got money for her match, but not the cash flow
Right.
if there's any match at all.
We'll be able to manage the match through the programs with the state and with our capital improvements budget. So this is strictly to keep it moving. We have a deadline to get the bulk of this money to have the construction completed by October 2026, or we don't get the funds that have been set aside for the water plant project. CDBG, the sewer project will move a little quicker. It'll probably go to bid in January, which is going to give us a faster. We've got the match for that project. So it's more the being able to keep it moving construction-wise, keep our contractors interested so that we get a good bid and get it completed so we get all the money that we were supposed to get under, this is several grants and several segments of money through the COVID funds that this is going to fund.
How much money would you stand to lose in grant money if we didn't approve this tonight?
Now, we anticipate it's going to be a $6 to $7 million project, and our cash portion in the end on the water plant would be less than $1 million. So we're receiving loans.
I wish people would stand up and talk to the council. That just drives me nuts.
Grants from the county, city, state, and Rome Central is also participating. So there's a lot of players coming together to make this water plant project happen. And we need to stay on task.
There's one more issue too that we ran into, the reason we did it 4 or 5 years ago. If you can't pay your contractors quick, like have this money available and you tell them you're gonna have to wait till next week or next month till we have enough cash flow to pay you, then you gotta wait on the reimbursement. Then the word gets out that you can't pay your contractors on time. Then when you go to bid, nobody bids on your projects because they know you're not gonna pay them on time. And so then you have a problem, and we ran into that a little bit several years ago, that people didn't want to bid because they didn't know if we'd have the money to pay them on time. So this lets you pay them on time, get that money back, and get on to the next project.
And under state law, the money can only be spent once. So once the money is paid back to the bank, they can't pull it back from the bank again. So they'll have it in an account, they'll spend it down, reimbursements come in, and when they send that check back in to pay it off, then that piece is paid off, and it doesn't come, you can't get it back, so.
It's not like one we had several years, once we had it like that.
We could keep drawing on it till it had been paid, but yeah.
So this is just strictly short-term debt for cash flow and, I mean.
And the city piece, I'm not sure their cash flow will cover all that little city piece, so they'll have to pay their piece out over the next 3 or 4 budget years probably, but yes.
Because that 365 to match that grant, we're gonna have to come up with that.
Right.
So we could take that over the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, divide it up by that.
5 years is
Yeah.
short term, so.
But water and sewer is much more fortunate. Most of theirs are 90-10. And our airport ones will be like 90-10 or 95-5. But this park and recreation is 50-50. And we'll never, those grants are very hard to get. And we already turned one back in. And if we turn this one back in, we'll probably never get another. So,
Any further questions from Mr. Gibson or Ms. Lefevue? If there be none, call the roll.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Yes. Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Jones?
Yes. Thanks, Scott.
Thank
Appreciate you
you.
being here. Next is Resolution 2355, a resolution approving community development partners for the purpose of providing administrative consultant services for the infrastructure planning grant for Rockwood water, sewer, and gas. What's the will of the council? Motion by Councilman Reed. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. Councilman Reed?
No.
Councilwoman Wilson.
No, sir.
Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Reed,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Jolley.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2356, a resolution approving to contract with Rye Engineering for the purpose of consulting engineering services for the infrastructure planning grant for Rockwood water, sewer, and gas. What's the will of council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Councilman Fuller?
Second.
Councilman Davis. Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Reed,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Jolley.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2357, a resolution approving to contract with Adoria, is that how you say it? Adora?
Adora.
Adora for the purpose of consulting engineering services for the infrastructure planning grant for Rockwood water, sewer, and gas. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bryant, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Reed. Councilman Bryant?
Nothing.
Councilman Reed.
Nothing.
Any further comment or discussion on this? Call the roll.
Councilman Bryant.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Reed,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Jolley.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2358, a resolution reappointing Glenn Gabriel to serve on the Rockwood Industrial Board for a term of 12/18/2023 through 12/18/2029. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller, second by Councilman Reed. Councilman Fuller,
Glenn, you do a great job, as he always has.
Councilman Reed.
I was echo the same thing that Mike said, Glenn will do an excellent job.
Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans.
Yes.
Councilman Fuller,
Yes.
Councilman Reed,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Jolley.
Yes. Next is Resolution 2359, a resolution reappointing Peggy Evans to a 3-year term as the council representative on the Rockwood Library Board for a term of December 1st, 2023 through November 30th, 2026. And what this is the state contact, the library board from the state contacted us and said we was doing it wrong all these years, so.
No, it all passed in July of 2022.
Okay.
Last year, nobody notified us that it changed.
So you can only serve, is it 3 years at a time? So that's what this is.
Yeah.
What's the will of the council?
Well, you can't do it. Yeah, you can be reappointed, and then if you choose to not,
My term only
Yes.
goes for another year.
but she told me it had to be 30, and then if you don't run again or whatever, that it would, you would automatically go off and somebody else be put on. But she told me that, correct, she said I must do it for 30.
All right, what's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bryant,
Second.
second by Councilman Davis. Councilman Bryant,
She'll do a good job.
Councilman Davis.
She needs to stay on there.
I agree. Any further comment? Call the roll.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? I guess so. Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Jolley?
Yes. Next on the agenda is other business. I'd like to entertain a motion that we approve the 2024 holiday calendar. What's the will of council? Motion by Councilwoman Evans, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. Councilwoman Evans,
I think it's good.
Councilwoman Wilson.
It looks good to me.
Any further comment or discussion? Call the roll.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson? Mayor
Yes.
Jolley?
Yes. Next is to declare inoperable Christmas lights as surplus. What's the will of council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bryant, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Councilman Bryant? Councilman Davis. Any further comment?
We just have a real issue with so many old lights that are just, they can't be fixed anymore. And if we can sell them on gov deals or something, get some money out of them, we can start replacing these old ones with new ones, because they're very expensive. But they've been worked on till they can't be worked on anymore.
I'd say we're in dire needs of needing some new lights.
Yeah.
We've had
And
those a
they're-
long time.
One angel like that down there today, in today's world, LEDs like $400, $500. So we're gonna have to start replacing them a few at a time, or as we can, so we can sell all the junk. Then maybe we can start replacing them with good ones.
Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Dawes?
Yes. Next is approval to hire a park and recreation employee. What's the will of council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Reed,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Reed?
This has been an issue for a long time. We need a full department of recreation.
Councilwoman Evans.
He sounds very qualified.
Any further comments? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Dawes?
Yes. Next is council comments. I'll start down here with Councilman Reed.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank our city employees and our department heads for the work that they do. Remind everyone the Christmas tree lighting is Friday, December 1st. The Christmas parade is December the 4th. And wish everyone a Merry Christmas and hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving.
Councilwoman Evans.
No, we are very fortunate. We have some of the best employees in the city that I know of, anywhere. And our police department is on the ball constantly, doing a tremendous job. Street department, our animal control, bless his heart, he is doing a fantastic job. And I do appreciate all of you. Now, I have some questions for a lot of things, as you know, always. But when we get down to it, with the grants that we've taken out, and with the monies that have been put into the buildings down the house, I would like to know the extent of the debt for the water, gas, and sewer plant. I think the buildings were close to $15 million, and now we're putting in $5 million more, so that's $20 million. And if the grants don't come through, and if the bonds can't be sold, we're in a bad shape. So I think that we need to start looking at a lot of this. Also, I need to know the amount of debt that the city owes.
I think he gave a copy to everybody. Did you, Mr. Gibson, did you give a copy of everybody's debt to the council tonight?
Everyone's what?
Everybody's debt is in this right here.
The pictures are, the total debt is not.
It's all, and that's what he gave you tonight.
The city, and you need to know the amount of money that the city owes.
It's in there too.
Now, the city owes, I'll give you the exact number, $5,268,373.
We are getting in trouble. We need to do some hard thinking about part of what we are doing. Also, I've asked for, still have not received the information and insurance forms for all their activities downtown and the monies that has brought in. I have not seen any.
The insurance was a park and rec event, it's provided by the city, and they weren't required to provide additional insurance
But anybody else is.
if it's not a city event.
That's correct, that's correct.
that's a little,
If it's not a special event, not put on by the city.
that's really a one-sided thing, because the people that I worked with that were putting on events downtown, doing a great job. But we all require it to do all this.
But the city, the difference is the city took in the money, made the money, and paid it back out through the city. City did. It wasn't a private person doing it or a private group or whomever. It was the city.
Should be the same requirements for everybody, regardless. And I may be wrong on that, but I don't think so. If you do it, I do it, whoever does it, should be the same requirements for everyone. And we were talking about the pool, 365.
The community center and the pool together, $730,000 grant. And
So-
it's 50/50,
So the city will be in debt for 350,000.
365 is. But that's all we've heard for the last 7 or 8 years. Gotta fix the pool, gotta fix the pool.
Absolutely.
And so we applied for the grant and they said you can't just apply to fix the pool unless you bring the whole building up to ADA accessible. So it's all included. Now, it won't make that pool 100% a beautiful pool. It's gonna fix the leaks and put in a new chemical system in it and stuff, but it won't be for $365,000 in the part that's going to the pool. It's not gonna be it's gonna fix the concrete on the outside. It'll replace the system underneath, but it's not gonna, that pool is still 40 years old. It's like me and you putting on makeup. We're still, it's still a 40-plus-year-old swimming pool.
But we're talking about the city's going to be,
We gotta come up with the 365, yes ma'am.
that adds to the $5,000 that we already have.
Yeah, we're gonna,
5 million.
our goal is to take that 365 over the next 4 or 5 years and put it in the budget each year and it be paid in 4 or 5 years. It won't be a 20 or 25-year bond
But
resolution.
we'll still be in debt for that.
Yes.
Well,
Mr. Gibson, do you have knowledge that you could give to the council right off? I don't want to put you on the spot, but to where our debt has been and what's fallen off and how much debt we've paid off in the last several years. The REU bond, we had the Walmart bond that was 25 years. Those are both going to be paid off in 2025.
That is correct.
I mean, that's the only debt we have. We did have, 10 years ago, we had double that, way more than that debt, but we've paid it off. Plus, you think about all the things we've been able to do, and it's still paid for.
I mean, in 2021, just a couple years ago, you had $6,043,000, so we paid down almost $1 million in that time period, so.
Since 2020.
And the majority of the council's debt is from 2018, was the renovation of this building and the police department and the fire department building, community center building, so.
Purchase of the fire.
And we
Yeah.
purchased the streetlights,
And the streetlights.
the heat and air, the roofs, all that is what that $5 million was.
And if you think about it, I mean, this building is in much better shape than it was pre-2018, and so are all the other buildings. And if you had waited till today, instead of spending $6 million, you probably would have spent close to 10, if not more, to get the same renovations. And the street lights should be paying for themselves because they're LED, and so you get the benefit of the new lights. You don't have to replace the bulbs, and they use 10% electricity versus the old lights. So ultimately, they end up paying the building improvements don't pay for themselves, but the street lights do from the less electric use. So you're coming out ahead on all of that.
So all the debt we had, other than train, all that project and the trucks we bought, the backhoes, all the equipment we bought, it wasn't just the buildings. We bought mowers, we bought that for the golf course. I mean, we bought a bunch of equipment. That's all what that 1.5 million is it we still owe? That's all?
Paid.
Yes. The
And all
payment,
that-
all of it.
All that was long-term type
And all that rate,
fixing, you know, not putting Band-Aids on things. It was,
And the rate was, at that time, was
well, it was pretty high, it was $2.99. So
$2.99.
you approved $4.75 tonight, and then the water sewer department, you know, they got all that grant money coming in, and they still owe about 6.7 million, but of course that rate's at 1.58, so I'm sorry I couldn't do better than 1.58, but I did my best.
Councilman Bud. Councilman Fuller.
nothing.
Well,
Councilwoman Wilson.
I've said that.
and I know with the community center grant, if we don't get an ADA, they're not gonna give us any more grants. I mean, until we have to do it. So, I mean, and it would be foolish of us not to pay out a little bit of money to get $8 million back. You have to spend money to make money. I mean, we can't just sit here and let everything fall down around us. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, and the Christmas lights, I get more complaints. I don't know about y'all, but my phone rings every night about the Christmas lights. And I still think they're pretty. I mean, I know we need, maybe, like you said, we need the LED ones, but I mean, I still think the angels are pretty and they make me happy, so. And that's all I've got.
Councilman Bryant.
Well, thank everybody for coming out, and I hope everybody did have a good Thanksgiving, and wishing a very Merry Christmas. And I'm with you on the lights. I get a lot of calls. I still,
Happy New Year. You ain't gonna be back till after.
that's all I have.
Okay, I'd like to remind everyone the Christmas parade lineups at 6, is that correct? And the parade steps off at 7.
Look around IGA, somebody, you got Mark Clinton or somebody.
Oh, yeah,
they got
they're lining them up.
Where you need
Yeah,
that.
Thank you for all you've done over the years on that. And I know a lot goes into it. I mean, it's a busy time. And thank you for putting your time and effort into that. Also is the lighting of the tree celebration starts at 5 p.m. Friday and ends at 8. Is it 8 o'clock or 8:30?
Yes, 8.
8. I'd like to thank everybody that's put their time and effort in that. A lot of people has come together, and this is really going to be special this year. I'd encourage everyone to show up to that. And December 16th, remember that's Wreaths Across America. What time does that start? At Oak Grove Cemetery, do you know?
I'm sorry, I don't, it's probably 11 o'clock, I don't know for sure.
It's out here on the wall.
It's out there on the
It's out
Oh, good.
It's out here at the, used to be water windows, all the information.
I'd like to take a moment to brag on Kelly and his department that they really they're really active in our community right now, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. When I come on board here, I said that's one of the main things I wanted was us to step it up if we could, and I
It
really
has
feel.
to be full staff.
Yeah, and you got full staff. He's gonna say, no, I don't. He's gonna want somebody no matter what. But thank you, I really appreciate that. And every other department we have here.
These guys putting up those lights and stuff, I mean, at the time, they put bulbs in them, get them on the trailer, get them up, they've done tore up. And they take them back down, and so they've done a
I
great
wonder if they're
job.
breaking them on purpose.
I don't know.
That's why he looks so happy
Hopefully they don't
back
have to put them up again, right?
We're just-
Yeah, I'd like to
It's
thank
hard.
Rick and his guys, they've worked hard on that. They've kind of inherited that over the last several years. They got that bucket truck from RU now there. You know,
They didn't know what
they're
was
doing
doing.
that. But all of our departments are great. I think we're second to none, and I really appreciate everyone. We will not have a December meeting unless something comes up. So I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and like I said, if something comes up, we will have a meeting, but as of right now, we're not having it. If there's nothing further to come before the mayor and council, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson, is there a second? Second by Councilman Bryant. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, there'd be none.